In this chapter, we're going to build a workflow from scratch, not from a template, from a completely empty canvas. It will be a simple text-to-image workflow, meaning we type a description and the AI generates an image from it. Along the way, I'll explain what every single node does and why it's there, so by the end, you won't just have a working workflow, you'll understand exactly how it works. Here's the full picture of what we're building. A workflow needs to do 5 things. Load an AI model, take in a text prompt, prepare an empty image canvas for the AI to work on, generate the image, and convert the result into something we can actually see and save. Each of those steps is handled by a specific node. Let's build it one node at a time. Double-click on the canvas and search for KSampler. This is the most important node in most AI image workflows, and it's where the actual generation happens, where the AI takes all the information you've given it and produces a result. Once you place it on the canvas, look at its left side, you'll see 4 input connectors waiting to be filled. Model, the AI model that will do the generating. Positive, a description of what you want to see in the image. Negative, a description of what you don't want to see in the image. Latent image, a starting canvas or a starting image for the AI to work on. Right now, all 4 are empty. The KSampler can't do anything until we connect nodes to each of these inputs, so let's work through them one by one. Double-click on the canvas and search for Load Diffusion model. You can also drag from the model connector out and drop, and you will get this suggestion of what nodes can be connected here. Now, the Load Diffusion model node lets you select which AI model your workflow will use. Think of the model as the brain of the operation. It's the file that contains everything the AI has learned about how to create images. Place the node to the left of the KSampler. You'll see a drop-down where you can pick from the models you have installed. For this walkthrough, I'll select the image turbo, where you can use whichever model you have available. Now, connect the violet output on the Load Diffusion model node to the violet model input on the KSampler. Violet to violet or purple to purple, if you prefer. Model data flowing from one node to the next. Quick tip, and I mentioned this briefly before. If you ever forget the name of a node you need, try this. Click and drag from an empty connector on any node, pull it out onto the canvas and let go. Now, ComfyUI will show you a filtered list of nodes that are compatible with that specific connector. Now, it's a great shortcut when you're not sure what to search for. You're not always going to get the exact node you're looking for, but it's a great help. You can try this for the positive input, and what you're looking for is a CLIP Text Encode. Now, if you aren't finding that, you can just double click again and type in CLIP Text Encode. Each CLIP Text Encode node has a text field where you input or write a prompt. Connect the first one to the positive input on the KSampler, and this is your positive prompt, a description of what you want to see. For example, sunflower on a meadow. Connect the second one to the negative input. This is your negative prompt, things you want the AI to avoid. You can be very specific here, but for now, let's just type blurry. This tells the AI we want a sharp, clean image. Now, in some workflows, the negative prompt is going to be ignored, specifically if you set the CFG to 1, something to bear in mind. But we're not done with the prompts yet. Look at the CLIP Text Encode nodes. Each one has an unfilled input on its left side. It needs a CLIP model to function. CLIP is what translates your human-readable text, what you just wrote, into a format that the AI can understand it. The AI has no way of knowing what sunflower on a meadow means. Click the canvas and search for Load CLIP node and connect its output to both of your CLIP Text Encode nodes. Now in the Load CLIP node, you'll see a drop-down to select which CLIP model to use. And this is where you need to match the CLIP model to the diffusion model that you choose in step 2. Different AI models are trained to work with specific CLIP models, so using the wrong one will produce poor results or just give you a straight up error. So how do you find out which CLIP model to use? Well, you need to check the documentation for your diffusion model. For example, if I search for the image turbo in my browser, I should be able to find either a GitHub page or the Hugging Face page or just a workflow using this. In my case, since I'm using the image turbo, I'll select Qwen 3.4b as the model And I'm setting the type to Lumina 2. I think you can also set it to Qwen image. This is because the image turbo actually uses a Qwen clip. So Qwen clip is actually made for the Qwen model, but the image turbo is also using it. The last input on the KSampler is latent image. So this is where we give the AI a starting point. Double click and search for empty latent image. This node creates a blank canvas in the latent space, AI's internal workspace. Now, once you start generating in the KSampler, the AI will start from this blank canvas and create noise and gradually shape this noise into an image that matches your prompt. In this node, you can set the width and height in pixels. This determines the resolution of your output image. Set it to whatever dimensions you like, then connect the output image to latent image input on the KSampler. Bear in mind that image size here needs to resonate with whatever model you're using, what it has been trained on. Most of the time, we're living in a world of 1024 up to maybe 2048 pixels. If you're trying to do something like, 5,000 pixels, your machine will probably stall. So this is determined by what model you are using. The left side of your KSampler should now be fully connected. We have every input has a node feeding into it. You have the model, you have the positive, the negative, and the latent image. Now let's move to the right side, the output. The KSampler has one output on its right side, and it's pink, meaning it outputs data in the latent space. This is the generated image, but it's still in the AI's internal format. If you could look at it right now, it probably wouldn't look like the image you wanted to generate. It could be similar, but not really what you're looking for. We need to convert it into a normal image that humans can actually view, and that's the job of the VAE Decode node. Double-click the canvas, search for it, and place it to the right of the KSampler. Connect the KSampler's pink output to the VAE Decode node's samples input. The VAE Decode node also needs a VAE model to do its work. So we add a load VAE node, select the appropriate model, in my case AE.SaveTensors, and connect it to the VAE Decode node's VAE input. Now, as with all load model nodes, here you have to know or find out which model, clip, and VAE work together. Now, we connect it to the VAE Decode node's VAE input, and the output of the VAE Decode node is blue, a regular RGB image. So we're almost there. The last step is getting that image out of ComfyUI and onto your computer. Add a Save Image node and connect the blue output from VAE Decode to its input. This node will take the final image and save it to your output folder. Everything is connected, so let's click the Run button in the top bar. Now, the first run will take longer than usual because ComfyUI needs to load all the models into memory. After a short wait, your image will appear, in our case a sunflower on a meadow. It might not be a masterpiece given our short one-line prompt, and also because we didn't change any of the settings in KSampler, but that's perfectly fine. The point of this chapter is understanding the pipeline, not perfecting the output. As you learn to write better prompts and fine-tune your settings, your results will improve dramatically. Now that your workflow is built and working, let's save it so you don't have to rebuild it next time. You have two options. Use the save option in the top left hamburger menu or the sidebar. Give your workflow a name, something like ZImage Turbo text to image, and it will appear in your workflows tab on the left sidebar, ready to open anything. You can also export it as a file. You can export the workflow as a JSON file. This saves it as a standalone file on your computer that you can store wherever you like, back up or share with someone else. And again, they can just drag and drop the file onto their ComfyUI and the entire workflow loads up on their canvas. Oh, and don't forget, the image we generated, the sunflowers, that has the workflow saved as well.